This is Matchday Live with NordVPN. Attention turns to the FA Cup for the team today as they travel to the West Midlands to take on promotion-chasing Birmingham City from the Championship. Matteo and Simon Grayson here in the studio for all the build-up ahead of full match commentary. It's FA Cup fourth round action live on LUTV.
Leeds United in dreamland. Tanaka, he's hit that one on the target. Viol with the header. Dominic Calvert-Lewin.
So yeah, here we go then ahead of a midday kickoff down at Birmingham City and a chance for the team to progress to the next round of the FA Cup. Valentine's weekend, that's what we would love. We'd love a win tonight, this afternoon. Simon, Dom, great to have you here. Be good to get through to the next round of the Cup and a good opportunity.
Yeah, look, I think the focus obviously is the league without a shadow of doubt, but what it is, it gives opportunity to keep momentum going because we've seen yesterday with Burnley, they get a league win and then they make loads of changes and they lose and the momentum can be halted very quickly. We're on a real good run with momentum, performances, and why not have a real good cup run? It's been a long time, and being in the cup gives the other opportunity to lads who have been on the periphery of the team to come in and showcase the talents and give the manager something to think about next time out for the league games.
Yeah, 6 changes. We'll come on to those in a moment. But Dom, you had a little wry smile there when Simon just said it's been a while for a deep run into the FA Cup.
I mean, for the Leeds fans, they've had some shockers off trips that we've got beat by some, lower opposition, if you want to call it that. But yeah, it's not been a great run for the Leeds fans, but we're due a decent FA Cup run. It's been a long, long time. But yeah, like Simon said, we've got a good enough squad, and when we make changes, I think we're still capable of getting results, and that's what it's all about. Yeah,
there are 6 changes today. You can see Ethan Ampadu leading the team off the bus there, but Ethan Ampadu is on the bench today. Starts on the bench. The 6 changes: in come Perry, Nonto, Longstaff, Tanaka, Okafor and Buonanotte. Out go Darlow, Bogle, Ampadu, Rodon, Aronson and Gruev. So those are the 6 changes. We think it might be a 3-4-3, it could be a 4-2-3-1, but this is kind of what we think. And Simon, talk us through this from a managerial point of view. But we think Perry in goal, a back 3 of James Justin, Jacobiol and Sebastian Bornau, 4 in the midfield, across the midfield from one side to the other, Nonto, Longstaff, Tanaka and Goodmanson, with Okafor and Buonanotte perhaps just playing in behind Nemecha up front. Simon, talk us through your thinking when you saw that team news and how you think that setup might look.
Look, it could pan out and be a 4-2-3-1. James Justin goes to right back, Goodmanson at left back, and then Willie on the right hand side, probably Okafor on the left, and Buonanotte behind Nemecha. But I think when Daniel's played the 3-4-3 for the last 10-15 games or so, I think it's still an opportunity for players to get used to the system that have not been in it. It's not a familiar position for Willie Nonto to play if he does play right wing back, but we saw him at Derby do that role and score in that particular game. So I think what Daniel's got, he's got the flexibility to go from a 3-4-3 to a 4-2-3-1 with a group of players, or reverse it, go from 4-2-3-1 to the 3-4-3. So very flexible and adaptable.
Yeah, we'll see how it pans out. Chance for Tanaka starting today as well. And Dom, I listed because of the players that have come out of the team. That makes up the majority of the bench, along with Dominic Calvert-Lewin, who's back after illness, and Joel Pirro there on the bench. Sam Barrow. It's a really strong bench if and when Daniel Farke needs to turn to other players as well. Yeah, 100%. And that's what we're seeing now with this Leeds team. Adaptable. We've got players who want to play, and it's good that other players are getting game time today, like Tanaka, like Longstaff, because they could be key players for us at some part of this season. They have played well already, but I think we've got so much. I think what we've got is a group of lads who are all kind of on the same page. And it's the first time I've seen a Leeds group for a while, and I was saying it last time I was speaking, that it's a group of lads who it seems like they're all getting on. They all want to do well for each other, and they all want to put them hard yards out on the football pitch. That's the most important thing. We've seen that at Chelsea. We never gave up. And again, I want to see that again today, because I think it's like Simon said, momentum's key in football. And when you're on a good run, keep that going. And I think whatever team we put out today, you're going to see effort and endeavour, because these Leeds fans that's what they want. They love seeing that, and they're seeing lots of that at Chelsea. So repeat again, Tay, please, that'd be nice. It's a chance to impress for players who aren't getting as many minutes as well. Look at James Justin, for example, today, played really well in the cup games, been pretty much a mainstay in the team ever since he's there today, and he captains the team today as well. A fantastic honour for him to captain the team, and Daniel Farker as well, showing reward for a player who came in the summer and has really started to make his mark.
Yeah, look, he's waited for his opportunity. Early part of the season, couldn't get in, but when he's had that opportunity to get into the team, he's taken it. And I really like the kid, to be fair. I think he's so flexible, versatile, he works so hard, he defends well. I think he's been an exceptional signing for the club. But I think it's a bit of, when we did the Derby game, same again. You can play yourself into Daniel's thoughts with a real good performance for the next couple of 2 or 3, 4 league games, or from now to the end of the season. Or if you show a real bad attitude and don't run around and do what you want to do, you find yourself not just out the team, but you can find yourself out the squad. Last game, Benote wasn't even the squad, comes back into there. So the strength in depth plays a part, but you have to go and show what you're capable of doing, and no better game today against a good team that are in good run of form.
Yeah, well, you mentioned about the opposition. We can see there the pictures of Birmingham City. Good grounds, good team, good place to go and play some football. A tricky fixture, to be fair, Dom. I mean, they are 11th in the Championship at the moment, but that's a slightly misleading insofar as they are where they are, but they're only 2 points off that 6th place playoff spot that a lot of teams have got their own. It's very congested in that kind of middle pack, and they are in good run of form, especially at home, Dom. They're good there.
Yeah, they haven't lost for a while. I think what you say, when you go to Birmingham as a player, Simon will tell you, it's quite a naughty place.
It's when you played for Villa.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. But it is one of those grounds that you think, it's a bit aggressive here, quite angry. The fans are up for it, and obviously I'm sure the Leeds fans will be as well. It's just one of those stadiums. I know it's been altered over the years with the redevelopment and stuff, but it was always a ground that there was always a bit something going on. And I think today, if we start well against this Birmingham team and we do get on the front foot, I fancy us to go and beat these comfortably. I'm not saying it's going to be an easy game, but I think we've got to take something from what we've been up to and where we're at. I know there's been 6 changes, but it doesn't matter to me. These players have to prove a point in the team to make sure they've got an opportunity of trying to get in the first team. Yeah, Ampadu's not playing. Yes, certain players aren't playing, who usually steadies the ship for us when we're in hard moments. This is a moment for players to go, by the way, I want to get in this team, and today I need to put a performance out there.
I watched them last week, actually. I was working for Leicester last week, and they played Birmingham at St Andrews, or whatever it's called now. And they were really impressive. They've got some talented player. Last year when they got promoted out of League One, they spent £10 million on Jay Stansfield, which is a remarkable amount of money to spend on a player. So they've made the changes, but they'll have some decent strength in depth. They've still got the core of some talented players. Coupled with how they're playing at this moment in time and the atmosphere, it's a tough game, but it's a game certainly we're capable of winning, definitely.
Yeah, I can't believe you worked for someone else.
Well, me being a Yorkshireman, you go where the money is, don't you? Don't get paid enough here.
Leaving us heartbroken on Valentine's.
We can get away with that.
Heartbroken on Valentine's weekend that you've been cheating on us. Anyway, right, we spoke about the captain of the team today in the starting lineup, James Justin. He's been catching up with Brynlaw ahead of today's match.
Well, James, congratulations, captain for the day. An honour for you?
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, it's a huge moment for me personally, captaining this great football club, and hopefully today we can do the job and get into the next round.
That's got to be the aim of the exercise, but it's not going to be straightforward. It never is in this competition, is it?
Yeah, I mean, when you come to difficult away stadiums like this, they've had a rest midweek, I think, and they'll be up for the game, and they'll go strong, and hopefully we can give them a good game and get over the line.
Is there a real enthusiasm to keep going in the FA Cup this season?
Yeah, definitely. There's obviously, there's a chance to get into Europe at the end of the day and write our names in history for this club, and hopefully we can take another step towards doing that today. But obviously we know it's a long way, and we need to get through today, hopefully.
There you go, your Leeds United captain today, James Justin. The players getting warmed up there on what will be, if it's anything like beast and a chilly day to go out and play football. Lunchtime kickoff, that midday kickoff. It's not the time people would look to pick, wasn't it? We had the same one against Derby as well in the Cup. Is it difficult for the players that early just to get themselves going managerially, the process and getting everything ready for the game?
I think modern day football now, you get used to different kickoffs, especially at Leeds United, playing on every day of the week and at different times, certainly something that's just the norm really. players adjust the timings, the food, or the sleep patterns, etc. So it's not easy for supporters getting down there. People maybe still a little bit on a Sunday morning, a little bit tired. Will the atmosphere be as heated as it could be at, say, 7, 8 o'clock on a night match as such? But we'll see. I think, like Dom said, we need to get off to a good start, keep hold of the ball, take the sting out of the game, make sure their fans certainly don't get on top of the atmosphere. We're looking at seeing Benotte here. Be interesting to see how he does, to be fair, because he's not played a lot of football over this season since he went to Chelsea and didn't play much, and come and what I think is one sub appearance so far for us. So it'll be interesting how long he lasts and how well he does, because he's got something to prove.
I think the physicality for him, for me, obviously I've not seen a lot of him, but you know, this type of game in the FA Cup, it's usually a physical game, this. So hopefully he's up for that as well, and he learns a bit from that. So it might be a good game for him to come back, learn a bit from it, and try and get somewhere near to that first team. Yeah,
the players getting ready, and they'll be, you know, thrilled to have come away midweek with a point down at Chelsea, especially given how that first 45 went. And Daniel Farke addressed that as well. It just didn't work in that first 45. Made the changes. If it actually went 2-0 down at the start of the second half. But what a kind of show of spirit, really, as much as anything, to kind of keep plugging away. And if you keep plugging away, something might happen, especially with this team. We've seen it time and time again.
Yeah, look, when you look at the first half, we had a run round. To be fair, they showed the reasons why they're up in the top of the division area, but the players stuck in there and they didn't let disappointment affect them. Daniel decided to make some changes which affected the game, and he's been very good in the last few months of making changes at the right time and mixing things around. Again, players coming off the bench. Okafor, we talked about him last week against Forest, scored the great run of form. Doesn't play, but doesn't start on the other night, but then comes off the bench and scores, and all of a sudden he's back in the team today. So it's a really, really good result on Wednesday night. Really sort of outstanding team performance, togetherness and spirit, and that can take you a long way. I look at other clubs, I know we're talking about Premier League a little bit here, but there's a little bit of trouble at other clubs, which I think will be the reason why teams will finish below us in the league, as well as maybe being knocked out of the FA Cup already this weekend and previous rounds.
Yeah, and that was the thing, Dom, wasn't it? Results are always in the context of also other results elsewhere. Yeah. And this is an amnesty, by the way, if you did cheer when Manchester United scored. You've forgiven this one particular time, but that's it. It's an amnesty and then it's gone. But you know, that was an important result, wasn't it? And you look around suddenly, and the 4 points from Nottingham Forest and Chelsea actually means that you can go into a game like this with just a little feeling a bit freer, maybe, Dom?
I think so. Like you say, the performance at Chelsea, just going back to that for a second, I just thought at 2-0, we're sat in the studio here thinking, whoa, what's going to... But like I said, what Danny didn't panic, made the changes, kept it at 2-0, got back into the game, showed a lot of spirit, made them change a little bit quicker than what he usually does. So that's a sign of him learning, even though he's the manager. I've never been in that position, Simon has. But, you know, it's a tough role sometimes as a manager, that because the Leeds fans demand certain stuff, right? The one thing they demand is heart, someone to put foot in, win your headers, win your personal battles. That is the DNA of Leeds United. That's what I learned that coming from Liverpool. DNA was different at Leeds than it was at Liverpool. Put a foot in, kick a few people, fans love you. And I've seen some of that, but we had some moments as well. There was some good quality as well. Justin, for example, and Bogle, them two were a huge part of that success of us getting them 2 goals as well. You know, 2 guys that we have talked about them, but their improvement from them 2 as well in full-back positions has been outstanding. And they've got, I think they get now what it means to play for Leeds United. I'm seeing that with a lot more players. Simon will know that more than me. It's once you've got that DNA and Leeds fans are on your side, it's a big thing.
Let's turn our attentions back to the FA Cup, because of course in the third round it was a trip down to Pride Park and Derby, and a really good 3-1 win, and it was an opportunity, like you said, Simon, for players to come in to impress as well, and having survived an early scare in the game, actually played some pretty nice football, and that's a great goal. And Willie Gnonto will want to come into the team and produce something like that again.
Yeah, look, we talked about the formation, and he on that particular day played right wing back, and that could be the case again today. It took a long time to break them down, but it was a great movement. Biol, I think, plays the ball forward. Lovely awareness from Joe Piroux, who's probably going to be the most disappointed player in that Leeds squad today, not being in the starting 11, but it's what it is. And Derby at the time were on a decent run as well, and have been since, but we passed it around. We had forward runners. We've got threats. We've got players that can score goals. We've got players that are able to make things happen. And again, you're getting into these areas, our quality shines through at times, and again, people being in the right place at the right time, enjoying getting into them forward areas. Tanaka started that move around the halfway line and then ended up sort of 6 yards out scoring the goal, and they all want to be part of a successful team scoring and assisting opportunities.
Yeah, in some ways, Dom, I mean, because the opposition is very similar. They're in a similar position in the league, in terms of the league below, but they're, you know, good players, good team as well. In some ways, you know, when you play a team that's a lower league team, and you already mentioned earlier that we've had a few of those trips, you're on a bit of a hiding to nothing. You're expected to win, players come in. Even if players impress against, say, a League 2 team, well, it's a League 2 team. You know, this way these players have got a chance to impress against good opposition today, and actually, you know, in a game that should be competitive, should be good, and they can put a marker down.
No, well, this one, I'm sure it'll be a proper game, this, like you say. A little bit of history over the years against Birmingham as well. So, yeah, listen, I think, again, when we talk about certain moments, it's not a derby, it's a tough game. We go out there, and it's one of those positions that, when I look at us as a team, I just think 6 changes, all good players. So can they step up and do what the other 6 have been doing? And that's the chance for, like, Tanaka for me is the one that needs to really have a really good performance, because he's the one player that we've all loved from last season. Has he been the same this year? I think he has, but he just hasn't had a game time. He's had a little injury as well at points. But I think Tanaka is the only player for me. I think he'll be absolutely fuming he's not in the team, because I think he's got that mindset. When he got brought off that time, he wasn't happy, and I think he'll want a good performance, because I think he thinks he should be in the team, and that's what he wants.
I think also, I think that can go right the way through the team, because I think Sean Longstaff has come from Newcastle in the summer thinking that he's going to be regular in the team, and he's hardly started again due to how well everybody else has played, and that only bodes well. It's not great for individuals, because you want to be playing all the time. We've both been there as players, but as a squad and as a manager, you just want that competition for players, and people have been hungry and good types, and I think we've got that here.
Okay, let's cross over to St Andrews ahead of today's match. Midday kickoff, just over 10 minutes to go. Let's get the thoughts of the 2 guys who'll be bringing you all the commentary action. Bryn Law and Tony DeRigo.
Well, we've come inside today because, just for a change, it's absolutely pouring down out there. We'll be heading to commentary position shortly, but before we head over, let's talk about the team. Obviously, as we were anticipating and expecting, lots of changes.
Yeah, there is. I think only 4 players that played at Chelsea played today as well, so that gives a lot of players an opportunity to show what they're about. One I'm looking forward to a lot is Bonanotte. We haven't seen too much of him. He's had a few minutes here and there. He gets the opportunity to start, and let's see how he does.
It doesn't matter what 11 goes out, there's an expectation for Leeds United anyway, isn't there?
There is, and if you look at the players that have come in recent times, we had a lot of injuries, a lot of people missing. The ones that come in have done fantastically well. So that level has been raised, and the boys that are going out there today need to show that they should be in that first 11, not the other players. And they don't get many opportunities, but when they do, they have to perform.
So in other words, it looks like a strong side still, doesn't it?
It does. I mean, we're confident. We're certainly getting the results in really difficult places. We're on a fantastic run. That momentum is key. We'd like to keep it going. FA Cup, the longer you go in it, the more exciting it gets, because you're getting closer to something very, very special. So this is another step along the journey. But what we do know, Birmingham City away, it's going to be tough. It's their FA Cup final as well.
Yeah, I mean, the last time we came here, it didn't go particularly well for Leeds United, but that was a different time in a different division. Birmingham have done a lot in terms of recruitment since then, so we're expecting something pretty good from them, aren't we, today?
We are. We've been here before and had some cracking games. The 5-4 one, I think, is incredible. The last one, not so good. We didn't play very well at all. But they're very different, and so are we. So what I do know is, I think any time that we come to town, we are now in the Premier League. For Birmingham City, they're looking at us and thinking, right, this is a scalp that we want to take. We have to be aware of that. So that fight, we have to match that. We've been really good at doing that, so I think we'll be fine.
Is there room in the season and the calendar for Leeds United to have an FA Cup run?
There's room for winning games. I like winning games, and that's what it's about. And if you can keep that momentum going, then why not? Performance is really key. You win, you go into the next round, nothing wrong with that.
So there you go, looking forward to it. Another championship side in opposition for Leeds in the FA Cup, hopefully heading through to the draw, which is on Monday evening.
Okay, we will send them outside at some point. It's probably worth saying. I know Bryn didn't want to ruin his hair or anything, but we will do that. Tony mentioned that 5-4 a few years back, so we thought we'd just chuck this in for a little bit of fun. I mean, that was a wild game. We get anything like that, we're not going to get a 5-4 today, are we? So?
Why not?
Crazy game, but some amazing goals. But you know, you're never quite sure what game you're going to get, do you? We've had good games down there, we've had bad games down there.
Games against Birmingham over the years where it's produced plenty of goals, good and bad days. My last game as manager at Leeds was a 4 or 5-1 defeat at home here. Vidic scored for Birmingham hat-trick, so not a great day from my perspective. But
it's not a therapy session.
No,
so
well,
just a bit of
we've got another 45 minutes to talk about that. But basically, yeah, look, it's one of them games that you can just get goals in it. And hopefully today's an entertaining game. They might not get as many goals as today, but their supporters will certainly be up for it. The players will be looking for an opportunity to be a hero for the day and be talked about in the papers, etc. But still a few players here that were on that squad, I would think, and that team.
I think 5-4 today would be a bit of a push, but you never know.
I
think with you've seen like the champion. You know, when you talk about the FA Cup, obviously we've played in it. You know, me and Simon. It's still unbelievable. I don't care what anyone says. It's such a big thing, and it never gets the coverage like it used to.
But remember this game.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah.
But you think I just think it needs a bit more, and you know, I think we've seen, was it 5-4? You said, unbelievable goals, unbelievable game, and both fans get a bit of some alibi. But I just want us today to go out, do our stuff, maybe a clean sheet again. I'd love a clean sheet. I keep talking about that.
We don't get the goalkeeper coming out making mistakes like that, by the way.
Yeah.
It's worth saying as well, Stuart Dallas going there. It's worth saying as well, we sometimes assume, we'll make loads of changes. But, I mean, Birmingham have made 6 changes as well. You know, Chris Davies has chosen to change his team up. You know, they are looking at the league in the same way that we are looking at the league. So it's naive to think that, we changed some players, but they've done that as well, and they need to. But they have got, you know, danger in the way. Look at Jay Stansfield, you know, 9 goals, 5 assists this season. Damari Gray, we know, is a good player. They've got threats there, haven't they?
Yeah, they have. Look, they're like us in a decent run, and they want to keep winning games and have momentum for the rest of the season, because this will be a big scalp for them to win today against us, a Premier League club, and the rivalry that is between the two clubs, and they'll be desperate to keep their football club on winning ways. I know Chris quite well, and he's been with Brendan Rodgers a long way, and he plays a good style of football. So he'll certainly have his players ready for this occasion, and the supporters will certainly be up for it as well.
That's a great finish. You just don't want to put that into your own nets for the winner there. That was some crazy game. How do Leeds approach this one then today, Dom? You know, the crowd will be up for it, like Simon says. Yeah. They've got to go out and impose themselves.
Yeah, go in with confidence. You know, like we mentioned, the players who haven't had the game time want to go out there and perform. And if they do that, I think we win the game. I just believe that hopefully these lads have the right attitude, because when you're playing a lower team kind of club, it's not that much difference in that. But I just think that if you don't perform properly in the early part of these games, you can get yourself in bother. So you've got to make sure in the early part you do all the stuff. I always say, do the basics right in the early part of the game. Nothing sloppy. Defend properly, and set pieces are always going to be key in the FA Cup. You'll see last-minute winners, the FA Cup. You know, looking at the games that have happened this weekend already, there's been some late goals, some late controversy, and hopefully a bit more of that today.
I think what we've got as well, we've got some real good technical players. Tanaka and Longstaff can both handle the balls. You've got a front 5, if you include the wing backs, that can all handle the ball. Keep the ball, make sure you take the sting out of the game the first 15 minutes, because you know the home team will just want to come out, get in the faces, turn it into a sort of ugly brawl type thing, and let the game filter out as such. But yeah, just keep possession of the ball and wait for the opportunities to pick them off.
Yeah, in terms of Tony was saying there, you know, Bryn asked the question, is there room in the schedule for a cup run? But winning is a good thing, isn't it? When you look this week already in the FA Cup, you know, West Ham they've gone through, but they've had to go through extra time to do that. They've had a man sent off in the process, so that's a kind of tough game for them that they've had. Burnley, they've been turned over by lower league opposition. You don't want to get beaten. That can't be good for morale, can it? You want to go out and win the games, don't you?
Of course you do, 100%. And like you say, when you're in this kind of form, you want to keep doing it. We only keep mentioning momentum, but it is key. And like you say, it's just one of those games where, when you think about the FA Cup, for me, as a young lad, I loved it. And when you go out there, you want to, because when I was at certain clubs, that was the only time I got game time. it might be for some of these players today. They want to play and perform today, so they've got an opportunity to get back in near that first team. And I was always like that as a young footballer. When I got my opportunity, whether it's Carabao or FA Cup, I wanted to perform so I'd have a chance of maybe getting the manager's thoughts. They might pick me sooner or later.
Yeah, we haven't really spoken much about Daniel Farke. We saw him coming in right at the start of the show, walking at the back of the team as he always does, heading into Birmingham today. He's done quite the job, hasn't he? I mean, when you look back on everything that seems to come about at the moment, he seems to be managing it really well. From your point of view, there are all sorts of challenges that come with managing a team, whether a winning team, a team that's struggling, whatever you're doing, there are challenges that come. And this is another one this weekend of thinking, right, how do I set up? How do I who do I pick? What do I do? But everything he seems to choose and his decisions, even again, Chelsea wasn't working, changed it, got something out of the game.
I think I've been really impressed with Daniel. He's done a real good job since he's been at football club. He's had a connection with the supporters, which I think is huge in the city. There's a lot of outside noise. November time, wasn't it? Before Aston Villa Man City games. But he's just got on with his job in the way that he does, and he'll trust what he's doing. He's got good staff around him. He's got a good squad, and all you can do is keep working hard and keep having your beliefs and keep feel that you're doing the right things on a daily basis. You're not going to get every decision right, flipping it. That's just human nature. That as a manager, you're never going to do that. But if you can learn from every day, from every match day situation, what can I do? Could I have done that better? What can I do for the next game? You're going to improve as a coach, and I think he's certainly withstood the pressure that he was under, and the club are benefiting from that, because there'll be a lot of other clubs would have sacked the managers we've seen the last few weeks or the last few days that would have pushed the button very quickly, and like we haven't done that.
Earlier on, there's a load of turmoil around the league, isn't there? But it is FA Cup action. Dom, I'm going to come to you first. We would like to know, how's this one going to go? What's the score going to be? How do you see it panning out?
Yeah, I think it will be a tight game, but I just think we edge it. But not just edge it, 2-0.
2-0.
2-0 United.
Simon?
2-1.
2-1. There you go. That's the predictions of our esteemed panel here in the studio. We're off now to comfort Simon about his last ever game in charge of Leeds, where they lost to Birmingham, and we'll leave you in the very capable hands of Bryn Law and Tony Dorigo. Enjoy the game.
Thanks, Rich. Welcome to St Andrews. A very, very wet, pretty cold St Andrews it is as well. The rain has been falling heavily since, all morning basically, since I certainly woke up. Stayed overnight in the second city, just to make sure that there were no obstacles to our journey.